Hey, this is The Alt Show with Elias Whitfield.
Hey, another episode of The Alt Show for you. I'm your host, Elias, and on this week's episode, I'm not going to play any music for you, but instead I got an interview with Ben from ATD, who just released their brand new record, A Total Disappointment. You can grab it at Bandcamp. You can go to Kinda Cool Records Bandcamp page. It's for $24. You can get a vinyl record, or for $8, you can get a digital copy. So make sure to go check that out. Without further ado, here's my interview with Ben from ATD.
Cheers. Happy Friday.
Yeah, happy Friday. How was work?
Same
old shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Another week.
Yeah.
I'm fortunate to be, working through all this COVID shit. So
yeah, totally.
Can't complain.
Yeah. Keeps the sanity going, Everyone says they want vacation, but as soon as they got a vacation for 3 weeks and 3 months and can't do anything, it's like, what the fuck do I do?
That's right.
Yeah. You've been writing a lot during this, or you just kind of, been working and hanging out with the family?
Yeah, haven't been doing much writing. The guys, everyone's been kind of writing a bit of their own stuff, but we haven't been writing as a unit at all.
Right, yeah.
We were going to have a rehearsal, was it last week or the week before maybe? And we ended up just kind of scrapping it, just thinking it's still a little soon maybe.
Yeah.
Nothing's happening coming up, so there's no sense jumping right back into it. And
yeah, totally. And seeing as you guys just released an album too, so you already got that.
Yeah.
How does it feel to have it out now?
It feels great, man. Yeah, it feels great. It was, bit of a long process.
Yeah.
From the time we started writing it to even from when we recorded it to getting it out was about a year.
Oh wow, seriously?
Yeah, so we had a sort of shake up with some players. We got on with Kinda Cool Records and they wanted to just elevate it entirely. So we spent a lot of time mixing and mastering and just making it sound as good as it could be. And then, with the COVID thing, that took a bit to get us going with it. But ultimately, it was kind of like the best timing to do it, really. Kind of gave us an excuse to get her done.
Yeah, totally.
Out, finished, yeah.
Yeah, sweet. And it was Schaefer from You Big Idiot that was the one that produced it, right?
He did the mixing and mastering, yeah.
Nice.
We recorded it at the Noise Floor on Gabriola Island,
nice.
Which was awesome. We spent, I think we were there for 5 or 6 days. You live at the studio. They got a little band bunker in the back, little cabin.
Nice.
And you just live there. No cell service.
Ooh.
You're just out in the sticks. It was a really cool experience, man. I had a lot of fun doing it. Hopefully we can go back.
Yeah, totally. Did you feel like when you didn't have the cell phone going, you were a little more open to ideas and doing stuff?
Yeah, well, that's a big part of it for sure. And the fact that we were all there and, we weren't leaving and going anywhere, even when the, session was done, we were all still collaborating and coming up with ideas and shit.
Yeah, totally.
It was during the week, so I was still working. So I had to kind of get the laptop on Wi-Fi and kind of, sort some shit out at work. But no, it was great. It was awesome. And yeah.
So I know this is like asking who your favorite kid is, but out of the 12 tracks on the album, which one do you feel most connected to and why?
Oh, fuck.
Or ones, I should say.
I don't know, man. I think the Curmudgeonly Lighthouse Keeper is probably one of my favorites.
Nice.
It's good and short and, kind of just balls to the wall. Bit of a tribute to Gord Downey from the Tragically Hip. Don't know if anybody will be able to put that together, but there's a bit of a story there, so we'll see who can figure that one out. Any hip fans anyways might be able to.
That's wicked. And speaking of short songs, I think the longest song on the record's like 2 minutes and 19 seconds.
Yeah, which one's that? Moonlight Clan, probably?
Yeah, I think that was the one. Yeah. And then there's some that are like, 19 seconds for the Teenage Vanities or whatever?
Yeah, that one's actually really old. We wrote that one. We've had a few different versions of that, but we wrote that one probably earlier on, like probably when we did our first EP. We just never had anything to do with it. Couldn't really figure out a way to put it together. So
Yeah, sometimes it takes a little bit to figure out exactly where the song's supposed to go.
Uh-huh.
And the last song on the album, Bunk Monks, was also the first track off your 2015 EP of the same name. So why was it important for you guys to redo that song for the album?
Well, that entire EP, we weren't very stoked with.
Yeah.
It was, nothing to do with the recording or anything. We did it at Rain City, and those guys were always awesome to work with and put out great work. But we were doing a graveyard shift. So we started at 5 or 6 or 8 at night or something like that. And by the time I was doing vocals and we were doing gang vocals and shit, it was like 4 a.m. and we'd been drinking all night. And it was a bit of a mess. So we didn't feel that we really did it justice.
Right.
So there was 2 songs off that EP actually we redid for this record.
Nice.
That song Let Down as well was on that. And again, so we were, tossing up a few from that EP that we were going to redo and try and bring back around. So we ended up with those ones. Yeah.
Well, they turned out awesome too. So it's, you must feel happy to finally go, that's what I wanted. That's what I envisioned.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I was also wondering, where's that voiceover clip from the opening track Slip come from?
Fuck, I can look it up real quick.
Not to put you on the spot.
It's from an old TV show. Give me 1 sec here, and we were asked about it for one of the guys from Portland did a review on the record.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't actually seen it online yet. He asked us, so I actually had to ask Joe where the fuck he found that thing from, and it's pretty obscure. But yeah, some old TV show from the 60s, I want to say.
Okay.
Yeah, that's going to take me a few to find it, I think, but sorry about that.
No.
Yeah, some TV show from the 60s, I think. It was like the beginning of the opening theme.
Oh, really? Okay.
Theme track, yeah, so.
That's cool.
Yeah, there should be a review coming out from Portland, from PDX Punks, I think it's called.
Okay, yeah.
And it'll be on that, so.
Okay, sweet. So keep tuned for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your lyrics tend to deal with rather serious subject matters, but the way you deliver them always comes across as fun and goofy. So how do you find the balance between being serious and just having fun with your buddies and the rest of the band?
Well, yeah, we try to write about relatively, I don't know about serious things, but sort of relative topics.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of bands that really deliver that kind of shit, especially political and, economical, songs.
Yeah.
Songs. And they do it really well. And, we're not really, don't feel like we're quite on that level. So we kind of write about things that are relevant to us.
Yeah.
But just kind of deliver them as we do, how it feels natural to do. I mean.
Yeah, totally.
It's a tough question. I don't really know.
Yes.
What do you mean? I thought we were delivering them perfect.
No, the delivery is amazing. And I mean, it's funny listening to you guys now, because the first time I ever heard you, I hadn't heard any of your records. It was just, I think it was at Punk Rock Ping Pong.
Yeah.
The first time I heard you guys play. And it was just, I remember I was sitting in the back with a buddy of mine, and he just looks at me. He's like, fuck, these guys got it. Like, it was just so tight.
Yeah.
And that, like, you and the rest of the band, like, how long have you guys played together?
Well, the 4 of us, we played as a 4-piece that night.
Mm-hmm.
I believe one of our guitar players couldn't make it. And the 4 of us that played that night, we've been playing together the whole time since 2015.
Oh, nice.
But me and Joe, the guitar player, we played in a band together in Calgary called the Primitive Screwheads.
That's a great name.
And that was a while back. And I don't know if you know the Campfire Shit Kickers.
Yeah.
So the singer for that band, Philly, he was in this Primitive Screwheads band with us as well back in the day in Calgary. Yeah. So me and Joe have been playing together for ages, but the 4 of us in ATD, the core 4, have been playing since 2015, I think it is, 5 years.
Sweet.
Yeah. You were doing sound that night, right?
Yeah.
That was the first time I met you, I believe.
Yeah, I believe so. And then, what was it? You guys played with the Real Mackenzies pretty close after that, too. Or actually, no, that was farther down the line. That was right before COVID started.
Right before, man. That was our last show. That's the last time we all were in a room together.
Fuck.
That was our second show with Morgan. He joined on, Morgan from Blacked Out.
Yeah.
So that was our second show with him. First show on a big stage. We played out in Squamish with Morgan right in the early New Year. And I don't know, it was not our best sort of outing. And it was sort of like getting used to playing with Morgan and whatnot. And he's a bit of a beast on stage, so a bit of a small stage. So we're just trying to kind of getting our bearings. So that show with the Mackenzies at the Rickshaw was a good time, man. Yeah, we knocked it out of the park that night, I think.
And you guys are buddies with the real Mackenzies, right? You said you guys went pretty far back.
Yeah, well, I used to. There's been a lot of sort of different stages of the real Mackenzies, but a while back I used to work with them. I was a driver and like roadie and merch guy.
Nice.
So there was a era of the Mackenzies that I was pretty tight with, but not so much anymore. I don't know most of the guys in the band anymore, but we still got to get the show because they're on Stomp Records, and Marco, our drummer, is in the Dreadnoughts, and they're a Stomp band. So
I didn't even realize he was in the Dreadnoughts. Man, it's such a small world. Yeah.
That's how we met, actually. Marco and I doing merch for the Mackenzies at a show in Vancouver. And me and Joe and Dave were trying to get a band going. We couldn't find a drummer. But yeah, doing merch for the Mackenzies one night, and Marco came up, and I was wearing a Dreadnoughts t-shirt, and he was like, nice shirt. So anyway, we started chatting, and Dreadnoughts were kind of slowing down a bit. So he was like, looking to start something new. And I was like, fuck, I got just a job for you, man.
Come over here.
Yeah, totally. And it's been rad ever since, man. We've been having a good time.
That's awesome. So going back to the beginning of you and, just your musical fandom, what was the band, album, or song that made you first fall in love with punk rock?
I think it would have been SNFU.
Nice.
And I think it was probably Reality as a Ride on a Bus.
Mm-hmm.
Heard that song somewhere, fucking buddy's car or something, probably.
Yeah.
I think when from the Punkin', what was it called, Punkorama 1?
Oh yeah.
So I think it was that, and SNFU has been a huge influence on me ever since, man, for sure.
Yeah.
Bad Religion was in there as well, for sure.
I could guess by your little pin there.
Yeah, those were the two bands that really got me into it, and then I started digging a little deeper. Found the Minor Threat and Ramones and the old goodies.
All the goodies, yeah.
But I think SNFU was what did it for me, for sure.
Yeah, have you hung out with Chai or any of the rest of the band before through shows and whatnot?
Yeah, and my old band in Calgary, another one of my old bands, the Tourette's, we got to play with SNFU a few times. So we got to hang out with them back in the day. See Chai around once in a while. He never remembers who I am, but
yeah, that's
what it is. But we got to spend some good time with them back in the day, back in the late 90s, 2000s. We did some shows with them. That was always a good time.
That must have been crazy going from the guy listening in the car going, man, this band's pretty rad, to being like, I'm on the same stage as that dude. Fuck.
Yeah, huge fanboy. Took everything I had not to just fucking lose my mind.
Yeah, totally. Going back to the album, the song Spies Among Us talks a lot about privacy and how the internet intrudes into our lives in many ways. Do you remember what exactly sparked the idea for these lyrics?
Not really, man. Joe kind of put that one together.
Oh, nice.
Joe is sort of, he's sort of the catalyst for the writing thing. He comes up with crazy riffs and kind of obscure song ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll just kind of go with that and, go with the theme that he has. But I think it's just all to do with how these days you'll be talking to somebody about something and then all of a sudden you fucking go on Instagram and there's an ad, that exact fucking thing that you're talking about.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what kicked that one off. that kind of weird shit when at first it was just like, oh, it must be a coincidence, you know, but then, you know, it kind of happened way too often and people start realizing, I think maybe the phones are listening a little bit. Yeah, totally. Not too conspiracy sort of oriented, but I mean, it is a little fucking odd, don't you think?
Yeah, totally.
It's happening.
Have you ever done the thing where you go, let's talk about something that is never in our lives at all in front of your phone? You'll talk about like My Little Pony or something. And then all of a sudden, My Little Pony shows up on your thing, and you're like, there was nothing else that indicated it.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. The one I remember, we were talking about cheesies when I was going to school.
Oh, yeah.
I was just living off fucking cheesies. I love those things, like the Hawkins cheesies. Mm-hmm. And me and my, you know, we're having a little study session, just crushing these cheesies, talking about them nonstop, and then whip open my phone, go on Facebook, and that might have been a bit of a coincidence, but there was this big thing about the Cheesies factory burning down or some shit like that.
Oh, what?
And it was the first thing that came up in my feed, and I was just like, holy hell, that's a little odd, man.
That's creepy. That's creepy. So personally, my favorite track on the album has to be Poverty Row, which I feel like any Vancouverite can relate to, you know, working 3 jobs just to pay your rent. So I got to ask you, what's the shittiest job you've ever worked?
Well, I have had a few shit jobs. Probably the shittiest job, though, was when I was, I don't know, 15 or 16. I worked at Sand Store. Do you remember that? It was like Fields. It was just like a department store, clothing store, kind of like an all-in-one thing. But it was just like pretty budget for sort of, you know, the lower class families go buy clothes and shit. And if you bought shit from Sand, the kids at school would make fun of you. You know what I mean? But I got a job there, and my main job was to sort the fucking clothes hangers.
Oh, God.
They just throw them into a bin, and then they'll take them into the back and check. So I had this like car-sized bin of coat hangers, just all, you know, messed up in there, and I had to sort them out by size and color, and they were just fucking locked together. And I was probably getting paid like $5 an hour or something shitty, and it just was the worst job.
Oh,
I think I made it through a week, maybe. If I'm
really? And then you're just like, fuck this, I'm out of here?
Yeah. And I got a job at A&W.
Ooh, so very lovely.
Yeah.
Well, at least you weren't doing McDonald's like everyone else does.
Yeah. We didn't have McDonald's in our small town yet at that point.
What was the small town?
It's called Okotoks, just south of Calgary, about half hour south of Calgary. Yeah, that's where I grew up.
Nice. Okotoks. I'm sure you had many puns throughout the years.
Yeah.
Too fun.
Yeah, it was a cool little town back in the day, though.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So you were saying that Joe writes a lot of the lyrics, so this might not really apply, but on the track Good Things, you talk about how young folks are becoming rather lazy, stating, quote, the self-entitled generation of today, they believe everything will come their way. The real world is chomping at the bit. Good things come to those who fucking work for it. Is this mentality something you see in young bands that are starting up nowadays in the music world?
No, not at all, man. Not at all. And it's kind of an elitist sort of view.
Yeah.
But that was, I think we put that one together just having some drinks one day. But I think that spawned from like the whole, you know, everybody gets a participation medal kind of thing. You know what I mean? Oh. Like everybody, you know, kids seem to sit around kind of waiting for jobs to show up and, you know, not moving out. And that's kind of what Boomerang Kids is about as well, slightly. Oh. So I don't know. I'm going to sound like a total dickhead talking like this, but it just sort of came from that kind of thing. Like, just seemed like a lot of people sit around and just kind of wait for shit to come to them instead of going out and getting it done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
And I think that participation award kind of sort of kicked that one off because, I don't know, no one seems to want to put in the work anymore.
Yeah, it's true. Well, the reason I asked that with the within young bands in the music world is I've had a lot of buddies just go, man, nothing's happening. You know, like we put out this album, no, we're getting no traction. We only got 100 views. And like, well, you guys playing shows or doing stuff. And they're like, well, there's no real point. No one's going to show up. It's like, well, sometimes you just got to grind for a couple of years before people show up.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I guess it could get related across the board on all different sort of, you know, levels. I was going to school at BCIT, which I think you went to BCIT too, right?
Yeah, I did.
That's right.
Yeah.
And there was some kids in my class who didn't make it out of the first year because they just weren't willing to put in the work. were expecting for everybody to help them. And that was one of the hardest things I ever did. So that kind of helped sort of fuel that song a bit too. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Want something worthwhile, you really got to put the work in. And yeah, I think that could definitely relate to bands. I haven't, heard anybody say anything like that to me personally, but I can imagine.
Yeah. What'd you take in BCIT?
I took geomatic engineering.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, 4 years, man. Fucking rough. And I went back when I was 35, I think I started.
Okay, yeah.
So I was definitely one of the old boys. Might have even been older than some of my teachers at the time, maybe.
Yeah, really? Yeah.
Yeah, it was good though, man. It was definitely a lot of work, but it paid off.
Yeah.
How long were you there for?
I was only there for 2 years because I got a diploma, but and then we did an internship on top of that near the end of it, where we just went out and worked, but it was still part of BCIT's thing. So
yeah,
that was pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, slick, man.
Yeah, it's a great school. I loved it, and it's small enough too. Like at least the program I was in, it was like the same 30 people, so you get to know everyone. Whereas some of the schools, when you're in a class full of 100 different people for each class, it's like really like a camaraderie.
Yeah, it's a good school, man, and it's got real high job placement after graduating, right? One of the highest in the country, I think.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah,
for my field, anyways. Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally. So, what are some bands that you think should be on every punk's radar? They can be local or non-local. To put you on the spot.
Well, my favorite punk bands right now in the sort of, the bigger sort of side of the spectrum would be Nightbirds, are one of my absolute favorites. You could probably hear that in some of our songs. Pairs.
Oh, dude.
Destroy it.
Yeah. They were supposed to play at the Wise, like, I think May 9th or something. I was so sad they didn't play that. Or no, it was April, I think.
Yeah, that was a bummer. They first time I saw them live at the Astoria, man, blew my mind.
Yeah.
Blew my fucking mind. Out of control, that band. So much energy. Nightbirds and Pairs are definitely up there. The Chats from Australia. They're a little bit
so
garage rock punk.
Yeah.
They're awesome. I love that shit.
On a smoke out, so leave it alone. Yeah.
That new album's awesome.
Yeah.
Mandible Claw from Calgary.
Nice.
They're a local sort of smaller band as well, but one of the best shows you'll see. Yeah. I think they just put a record out today, a new record on Bandcamp. The Calgary punk scene's rad. There's tons of bands out of there.
Yeah.
I'm drawing a blank, man.
No, dude,
just on a local level, like Western Canada's got heaps.
Yeah, it's really been, and I mean, it always comes in waves. So like, my dad does sound here as well, and he was saying for a couple of years there wasn't really as much going on in the punk scene. In the last couple of years, it's really ramped up. Just probably around 2015 when you guys started getting together. I think there might have been a little lull in that scene, and just every once in a while it all goes in circles, man.
Yeah. I was checking out some of your tunes. What's your band's name? Lie?
Lie. Yeah. We originally went as Lie, and then we put the 3 on there just to, I don't know, be different. Yeah.
No, I dig it. It's sort of grungy, garagey.
Yeah.
Had a little list in there. Yeah, it sounds pretty neat, man. Are you guys gigging or anything?
Our first gig was supposed to be May 8th. We were going to play with AK 747s and I forget who else was even on the bill. But yeah, that was going to be a sick show. And that band had a weird start to it because it was originally another project that actually Chai Pig was supposed to sing in.
Oh, yeah?
And it kind of fell through because the drummer that was playing at the time, he went off to rehab and stuff. So, people were dealing with stuff, and his health has been kind of, deteriorating. So he wasn't really up for it. So some of the first songs we did, I was kind of trying to do a Chai impression just to, give homage to him and give him the respect that he definitely deserves. So
absolutely. Yeah, man.
Yeah. But I'm definitely no Chai Pig, but I try to do something. Be your own, right?
That's right. Of course. You definitely have to take your little bits from the people that you sort of are influenced by and looked up to and, are moved by, but you definitely got to bring it all into your own thing for sure, man.
Yeah. And I also got to say, you have one of the best lyrics in any punk song. I've ever heard. Super size waste of life. Was that you or Joe who came up with that?
It could have been either of us, man. We used to sit in Joe's kitchen on like Friday night, Saturdays, and just drink a bunch and just write songs acoustically. And he would have a riff and we'd have a theme and we'd just sit there for hours putting lyrics together and shit. So I don't know. It was probably a culmination of the both of us. That's kind of how it's been with the lyrics. One of us will have an idea and then we'll hash out lyrics together. So if you ask me who came up with what, it'll be a bit tough, but
totally.
Usually it kind of comes from both of us. Me and Joe are the main lyric writers anyways, yeah.
ATD wrote it, I'll just say that. Obviously now, tours have been kind of put on hold, but where were you guys touring like in the last couple of years and stuff? Where's like the farthest from home you got?
Calgary.
Yeah, just kept it pretty local and stuff.
Yeah, well, like I was saying, man, 4 years I was in school, so not much opportunity for me to do anything there. And I think that was, that's kind of why it took us 5 years to get a full-length record out. We're cranking out little EPs here and there and playing some shows. But with me in school, that was sort of my focus. And we did a couple of trips out to Calgary and back. But yeah, we haven't done much in the way of touring at all. We've done a few little mini tours, Alberta and BC, to the island, that kind of thing.
Nice.
We're supposed to go all the way to Saskatoon on Canada Day.
Oh.
But I'm pretty certain that's been canceled.
Yeah.
Julia Sumner Miller, we were going to go do a bunch of shows in Alberta with them.
Yeah.
And do Canada Day in Saskatoon, and then I think Calgary, Edmonton, Lethbridge. Then we're going to do Kamloops and Kelowna and hit the island, I think. But I think,
yeah. Where did you guys play on the island?
We've played in Cumberland a few times.
Nice.
At the Waverley, that place is deadly. In Victoria, we've played at Logan's. We've played at the fuck's it called? Lucky Bar, I think.
Oh, Lucky Bar is great. Yeah.
And then there's another one too. I can't remember what the fuck it's called. It's like an upstairs like dance club, and all the shows are super early. Maybe that is Lucky.
No, Lucky is a ground floor place. It might be Rooftop. I don't know if they have live bands there.
Can't remember, man. It's right in that little plaza area. It's just like, where Lucky is, down the lane. There's that little sort of courtyard area.
There's
a pub in there. I can't remember what it's called. It's up top.
Oh, maybe Garrick's Head. I could see that. There's so many different little pubs in there. It's a funny little town for sure. Yeah,
we've had a good time in Victoria, man. We always we seem to go over pretty well there. Every time we go back, we meet some new people who've got wearing an ATD shirt. It's like our home away from home. I like playing out there. We've been pretty fortunate though. We've played with, most of the time we've been out there, we play with a pretty decent band, right? Dreadnoughts, Mackenzies, Flatliners. So we were always playing to a full room when we're out there,
no doubt.
Which is bonus for us.
Yeah.
And we got some friends that put on shows out there, so they hook us up every time we go out.
Yeah, it's a funny little city because I'm from Victoria originally, and like the punk scene there is a lot more. It's a little harder to access. I just think because it's a smaller town, so there's a lot of stuff going on, but you got to go to like certain little spots. Like there's this one place called Wheelies, and I think their capacity is like 30 max.
Oh yeah.
But they have the stage is a patio. So they open up the patio and you can just sit in the parking lot. If like, okay, we sold too many tickets, just go drink in the parking lot.
Oh, okay.
And it's a nutty place. I've seen some pretty
sounds rad, man. That sounds right up my alley. Love to do
well, and the DIY kind of attitude for stuff of like, well, fuck, we reached capacity. That's not going to stop us.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Oh, and so Dan from the Core played with you guys for a bit. Do you have any fun stories from him being in the band and such?
Every time we played with Dan, it was a lot of fun, man. He was awesome. And, he just is a busy guy, and the Core is a huge sort of focus for him. So,
and Theo and the Thugs, too. I mean, that seems like he's in everything.
Yeah, and he's fucking phenomenal. He's an absolute sort of pro.
Yeah, totally.
we actually, so he recorded this record with us.
Yeah.
You know, and you can definitely sort of hear his flavors on a lot of the tracks, man. Super stoked he was part of that. But we had another guitar player, Kevin.
Yeah.
And, you know, he played with us for a year or so, and that was awesome. But he kind of wanted to do a bit more of a rock kind of thing. So he left, and we got Dan sort of last minute to do a island run, actually.
Sweet.
And you know, at the end of the run, or after the first show, maybe, he was like, it was just sort of going to be a temp thing, and he's like, you know, can I join on? And we were like, absolutely. And it worked out for a while, and then, you know, as you know, everyone gets busier, he kind of you know, he was, you know, the core was always his main focus, and that's understandable. And it kind of came to the point where we didn't want to play as a 4-piece.
Right.
With, you know, the way we had started, you know, playing and writing was directed towards a second guitar player. So we asked Morgan to come join on and do some shows, and we decided it's probably just in everyone's best interest if we just stick with one guy. A couple kind of floating back and forth. Just to kind of keep the tightness and the gelling and all that, right? So so it's unfortunate we can't play with him anymore, but he did say if because Morgan's also got another band, Blacked Out. So
great band.
Yeah, great band. So if need be, Dan will step in if we need him in a pinch, which is awesome.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. No, yeah. Funny stories though. I don't know if I have any like funny stories, but it was always a good time playing with him, man. Absolutely.
Yeah. And he played with you guys at the Wise kind of a while back, right? In the music video for Boomerang Kids. That was the Wise, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the Rocket from Russia Fest.
Nice. Yeah.
The last one, yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of Rocket from Russia, like Tim, he's doing a lot nowadays too with this. Now that COVID's going all weird and getting shows back, but hear about that punk rock dinner thing he's putting together?
Yeah, he asked us if we wanted to do that, sort of in conjunction with the record being released. And I thought it sounded like a kind of a neat thing, but collectively as a band, we don't really want to rush that kind of way. We haven't played in a while for sure. And we also don't really want to be the sort of first ones out of the gate to rushing back into this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I totally get that.
Morgan works down in the Lower East Side there, and he sees a lot of shit down there. So collectively, we just weren't feeling comfortable getting back into that kind of thing quite yet, especially without, and not to even mention the fact we haven't played together since March.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's kind of the sad thing that's going on right now is there's a lot of there's a lot of backlash if you do really anything. And I know a lot of bands and people are wanting to get back to normality, but no matter how it's done, at least Tim, the way he's got it set up is going to be safe for everyone and stuff. But I don't know even when we're going to be able to have a show where, your friends are dancing in the front. Like that might be another 6 months, might be another, no one fucking knows.
I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't happen till next year, honestly.
Yeah.
No, that thing that Tim's doing sounds like it's a nice time. Absolutely. But yeah, if people are happy to kind of, do it, and I think I'd be happy to go sit down and watch and have a dinner and watch the thing. But, we aren't completely even comfortable necessarily to just get into a little room and jam together. You know what I mean? Like, don't want to risk it.
No, totally. And well, do you have a wife or kids or anything like that?
I have a wife, no kids.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Totally. So yeah, I mean, and that's your priority too when it comes down to things. You don't want to
totally. Yeah. And I'm not the healthiest guy either. So
really?
I'm sure I could survive around a COVID.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm not like fucking deathly ill or anything. I just haven't worked out in a long time. Drink a lot, smoke a lot,
Yeah, the cough is already there, let alone having COVID.
That's right.
That's like a buddy of mine. He was like, he came over and he's like coughing away. And, at first I got a little worried and I'm like, wait, I'm pretty sure you've been coughing for 20 years. So I think we're good.
Yeah, I may look like I'm dying. It's just a hangover smoker's cough. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, exactly.
How about you? Have you guys been playing together at all?
We had our first practice last Sunday, and so it's been good. It was more, we're not really looking to do anything, like no shows in the works, but it's funny, we wrote a lot of songs during COVID just because we kind of were going a little crazy because, like a lot of us don't have work anymore.
Right.
That's going on. It's just like, well, what the hell are you going to do? So just jam together and, a bass riff goes one way and then throw something back. And it was we tried to write just to keep everyone else sane because we knew that like, okay, if our bassist Rob, who played with Removal, he's like, sending us like 6 tracks in 1 week. And it's like, well, we got to give him something back just so he knows that we still care. Right. So, yeah, but, yeah, it's going to be interesting seeing how this all plays out. But, yeah. So I guess for you guys, you're just kind of, living off this record for right now. Cause that's the thing that I find is really funny with people is they'll go, okay, you just released a record. What do you have next? And it's like, well, fuck, we just did this huge thing, man.
Yeah.
Like, what do you expect?
Yeah, it took us fucking year to do this, and it's COVID season, so we're not fucking anything.
Yeah,
but I think what we are gonna try and pull off is sort of like old school style 7-inch, as many 30-second songs or shorter that we can pack onto a 7-inch.
Yeah. And well, that's actually the one thing I found really interesting about the record, because I think it comes in at like 17 minutes and 22 seconds, something like that. Yeah. And I think records like that need to be more accessible nowadays because our attention span's not the same as it used to be.
Exactly, man.
So you can listen to 17 minutes and go, fuck, I want to listen to that again, instead of getting halfway through a record and being like, okay, what else can I throw on now?
Yeah. That was sort of, we kind of kept that in mind. Mm-hmm. With today's attention span. Absolutely. It's just the way it is. It's not just kids, it's just everybody with social media. Everything's coming at you so fucking fast. You gotta get in and out.
Yeah, totally.
Now.
Yeah.
And yeah, this record, we just got the test pressings. I'm hoping to get the actual hard copies in the next day or two so we can start mailing them out to people, but it's all on one side. Really? 17 minutes is on one side. So one side is going to be blank. We're going to stamp it, number it, and then, all 17 minutes on one side.
Yeah, and that's through Kinda Cool Records. You can get that on Bandcamp. $24 for a vinyl, and it comes in the lime green and the hot pink, right?
That's right.
Yeah, sweet.
That's right. KindaCoolRecords.com. I'll hook you up.
Sweet.
Yeah, and if for any of the local folks, if they to save on shipping, they just message me or message Kinda Cool to arrange a drop-off pickup kind of thing. Yeah, totally. I think we're gonna, when we get them all ready to go, I think we're gonna sort of arrange come meet us at some pub somewhere.
Yeah, that'd be pretty sweet.
And everybody can just rock in. We'll give them the records and beer and whatnot.
The other people in the bar, what the fuck's going on over there?
If that's feasible these days, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's an option for the locals who don't need to pay for shipping. They can save a few bucks that way. Just come meet us and we'll.
Cool. Well, starting to wrap up here. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Tell the fans anything going on in life? Pardon?
Fans.
Hey, I'm a fan.
Oh, thanks, bro. I don't think so, man. I'm just happy to be on your show. Do your thing here, man.
Oh, thanks for coming on. It's been awesome.
Yeah, stoked to have this record out, man. Have a listen, pick one up.
Thank you so much to Ben again for coming on the show. Make sure to go check out and follow ATD if you haven't already. And remember, it's all about the music, the history, and all the bits in between. Till next time, cheers.